Okay, post Ian especially, insurance is on everybody's mind. Today we're going to talk especially about the cost of owning condos, particularly island side, the benefits, some things to look out for, and ongoing things to know when either purchasing or selling a condo here in Sarasota, Florida. And we're sitting here with the lovely Brandon Terry of the Terry Mortgage team, him and his mom, Melissa. So you're going to answer the first 5 of the 10 questions, and then Melissa's going to do the next 5. So on everybody's mind, living in Florida, first of all, before the Hurricane Ian, and especially after Ian, with insurance, the cost of such a major storm, right, and the ongoing costs it'll affect buyers and sellers. So let's just start with like a little bit of an overview question, which would be, what changes have you seen in our market?
Okay, great question. Well, as far as changes we've seen recently in our market, we definitely are seeing home prices still at a great all-time value, right? We're seeing them go up and appreciating them even higher. And in turn, that's actually giving the sellers more room to help buyers. Maybe they're able to come off the price a little bit, maybe help the buyers with some concessions to be able to get into that home. So we're seeing a little bit of that, and also a little less bidding wars, right? So those buyers are having a better chance to get into those homes. So those have been some positive changes we've seen. Of course, we've seen some changes as interest rates; those have risen. But of course, as long as we keep people in their monthly payment, that's what the goal is at the end of the day. Okay?
And are you able to allow some buyers to buy down rates in some cases?
Absolutely. So it's a
Okay.
great question, and sellers can help with that as well. Sellers, if you've got a little extra money in that, you got a little extra money in that home, why not offer that to the buyer to be able to buy down their rate and go ahead and get a lower monthly payment for that rate for that buyer? So it'd be a great way to help them lower their payment.
I think that what we're seeing in this really weird transition period, I've heard this from many of our colleagues, both on the lending and the real estate side, is we're in this like weird period where buyers are kind of waiting and some sellers haven't pulled the trigger because inventory is down, prices are still up but down in some places. Like it also depends on how you look at the numbers. Like, is it year over year or year to date? So you really have to know what you're talking about or what you're really looking at in terms of the numbers. Okay.
Great point.
Good answers. What is significant deferred maintenance?
Great question. So that's coming up a lot on our condo review forms. So some condos are having to disclose because they're getting some insurance inspections, but they have some deferred maintenance on their condos. It could be some structural things, it could be elevators, things like that. Now, all of those things are going to need separate line items in their budget so that that association can be able to replace those, right?
Right.
So in turn, that's really protecting our buyer, because in the future, that HOA association could come up with an assessment, or they could have to raise the HOA fees for the buyer. And we want to make sure the buyer is still able to qualify for that monthly payment.
We actually had, here's an example, like we had a listing on Longboat on the beachside in Players Club, and the whole community looked like, it didn't look pretty like it normally would look. And, we had a listing, we had to try to sell it, and trying to explain to the buyers how much of a benefit that is that the seller paid for that prepaid assessment. And so it was a good thing. It was a preventative structural maintenance, again, because of Surfside, this is pre-Ian. So, you're going to see more and more of that, especially island side. But are you seeing that on the mainland as well, as far as your side is concerned?
I mean, they still have to be able to pass those insurance inspections, and we'll go over later what some of those requirements are for some of the different HOAs that aren't so close to the Gulf side. But all insurance companies are having to go through their inspections for their homeowner associations, and yeah, that does affect people that are not Gulf side as well.
Yeah. Okay. Last question for Brandon. What are some reasons why condos can be difficult to get approved on the loans?
Difficult doesn't mean we can't do it, right?
Alrighty.
So some things that can come up is litigation, right? If the condo is in any sort of litigation, we have to be able to speak to that attorney, get some documentation of what's going on, so that we know that it's not going to be a detriment to our buyer. Some other things that could happen is that there could be some leases on some of the facilities of the condo, right? The owners have to be able to have full control of those facilities at the HOA. So there's all kinds of things that could pop up. So we want to be able to review that lender questionnaire immediately as soon as the buyer's in contract, so we don't know if there's any hurdles that we have to overcome.
Right.
So in addition, another reason could be that the condo doesn't have appropriate insurances that it may need, right? For a conventional loan or a FHA loan, it might need different insurances. So we have to make sure that those proper insurances are in place. Another thing that we see sometimes is maybe even a rental desk on location, and that's not going to work for a Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac mortgage condo, right? So that would have to go to a portfolio deal. So
That's a
we need
good
to get
one.
those things reviewed up front so we know how to handle the situation and get them approved.
Yep, that word again, insurance. It's like the 4-letter word, except for it's not 4 letters. Yeah, it's
Exactly.
that word right now. But you know what? We have a good working relationship, and when you have a really solid lender who's been doing this a long time and a realtor, we've been through this to some extent, and we're always just pivoting. And so, thank you for sitting down with us, and I'm looking forward to introducing your mom.
Sounds great. Thanks so much, Shayla.
Yeah, Melissa Terry. Hi.
Hi, hello.
Thank you for sitting with us.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, question number 6. Wasn't there a new law passed in Florida after the Surfside collapse?
Yes, Senate Bill 4D was passed the first half of this year, and it really addresses some of the things that happened in the Surfside collapse, so that hopefully that'll never happen again.
Can you get into like some specifics? Like, are they like the only example I have is the Players Club because it was so major. So they were doing rebar, like redoing the structural rebar and the whole envelope project. Is it kind of like all pertaining to that, like structural?
Yes.
In case something were to happen, not because something has happened.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, it's having a architect or a licensed inspector, go in and look and see what's going on. A lot of these buildings, what has happened is if a condo is within 3 miles of the shoreline, then they have to have a structural milestone inspection. So anything built before 1992 is now having those inspections. And that's for any units that are 3 stories and above, with a condo or an association. Before this law, it was every 40 years. So now it's every 25 years for those within 3 miles of the shoreline. And also the results must be posted and given to every owner. So there's more transparency in if the inspections have been done and what needs to be done as far as significant maintenance or deferred issues.
Right. And it probably depends on how much they've already maintained thus far and if they've been really proactive or not thus far. Each building and location will very much be a case by case.
Absolutely.
So you kind of answered part of question 7. How does it affect condo owners? Costs? Hello.
Yes. As an owner myself, there may be special assessments, we may see increased HOA dues.
Yeah.
A lot of people are hearing that.
Well, and not to go off topic, but like this all affects the renters too. So the cost of renting these properties will be going up, not even just Barrier Islands, but the cost of insurance just all in the whole area because we are in a peninsula state prone to hurricanes. Insurance is all about risk assessment, and because we live in a state that has higher risk, even really further inland as we just witnessed, unfortunately, that affects the entire state, and it's spread across the whole state, right? With like the pocket areas that are low-lying or that, of course, are on the beach side. So we're all affected.
Absolutely.
And how does that affect you all? Y'all, I got to talk like you. Y'all.
If there's significant deferred maintenance or delayed maintenance, there may be special assessments coming up, could affect not getting a loan, or they don't have the reserves there in place anymore to do those projects, and that could also affect getting a loan.
Right. We like cash. I'm sorry, but we do. But even for people that have cash, like we have some really kind of out there examples that I won't get into specifically, but even if you are a cash buyer for a home or a condo and you still want insurance, it's still going to affect those people. I would say not many people would self-insure, although I know some on the really high end choose to do that because it's just exorbitantly high. So we understand why you might not want to get insurance, I guess, to some extent.
Well, the good news about this law, too, is now that there's transparency, at least even if you are a cash buyer, you will know what's going on with the buildings that you're buying into, and know, if there's actual structural things that are going on and, help you understand your building better.
And what you're purchasing.
Yes.
And what is the timeline for this?
The inspections for all buildings must be completed by December 31st, 2024 under this new law that was passed this year.
I didn't know that.
It's happening right now.
And once started, that must be completed within 365 days?
Yes.
For any community or building?
Yes. Once it is known what the defects are. Okay, so we're doing the inspections now. Once the defects are known, if there are any, then once you're told about them, you've got 365 days to get the repairs started.
No matter the scope and size of the project?
Correct, because if it's that,
if it's that bad,
you need it done now.
Oh, wow.
Sooner than later.
See, I didn't know that. See, Teamwork makes the dream work. Okay, what if I'm not within the 3-mile radius?
There's just a little bit of a difference. If you're not within the 3-mile radius, then it's every 30 years that you've got to have this initial inspection, and then every 10 years thereafter. So there's just more often that this is going to have to be done for any of those condo high-rise buildings.
So we'll sell your property on year 29, is what you're saying. Thank you so much for sitting down with us. It was great to see you again.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
All right. I hope that you found this to be helpful. There's a lot of intricacies to loans right now, especially as it relates to insurance. We've got such a great team of vendors, insurance, and of course, mortgage people and more. So please reach out anytime. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing. And please, any questions about real estate, especially if you're wanting to sell right now, click the link below, shaylatwit.com.